My name's Hendrix. I'm the creative director here at One Off Hospitality, and most recently the chef at Pacific Standard Time and Avec. But first and foremost, thank you so much for your support of Gilda's Club. Really great organization, and again, just thank you for your support. Hopefully by now you're well on your way through a meal and possibly enjoying some smoked beef short ribs. This dish for me is just all about the great flavor of that beef, and one of my favorite sauces to serve with a simple either grilled steak or smoked chunk of beef like you're enjoying is a classic chimichurri. The chimichurri is primarily just herbs, a little bit of olive oil, some vinegar, some capers, a little something sharp. Traditionally comes from South America, but there are great versions you can find in Italy and Spain that are more often called salsa verde. Just trade out a couple of ingredients, but here I'm going to start making the chimichurri. It starts primarily with herbs, like I said. I've got a bunch of Italian parsley and a bunch of cilantro. But you don't just have to stick with these two, or if you don't have one, you could trade out something else. I love parsley and basil would be really great. Parsley, oregano, marjoram, whatever, but just make sure they're nice fresh herbs. And I'm just gonna whack these up. Just doing a rough little chop here of the herbs. You could also do, you could do mint with the parsley. I think doing mint and cilantro doesn't sound great to me, but I think with the parsley it could be really nice, and like I said, basil nut is a natural too. Well, the herbs just quickly chop up here. And you can leave it quite coarse. I like kind of a chunky herby sauce, but if you wanted a little finer, you would just keep going here. This all just goes in a bowl. Pretty simple at this point. I've got some olive oil, about a half cup of olive oil for those two bunches of herbs. A quarter cup of red wine vinegar. Now you could also use lemon juice if you didn't have red wine vinegar. Apple cider vinegar, white wine vinegar. You're just looking for a nice acid for this sauce. I like a little heat in all of this, so this is some dried chili flake. If you wanted to mix it up or didn't have dried chili flake, you could use a different chili, or smoked paprika is really delicious. A little bit of black pepper here. Oh, and if you didn't have dried chili, you could also use fresh jalapeno or fresh Fresno chili, just minced up in there. And we're going to add a little bit of, these are capers. These capers have been packed in salt and then rinsed briefly to get some of that salt off. If you have them jarred, you wouldn't need to rinse them, you just need to drain that brine off. And then I've chopped them up here, so a pretty fine little chop on them. Like I said, this adds salt. If you wanted to, you could also add a little bit of anchovy, and that gets you closer to more of a traditional Italian salsa verde. The capers go in there, and then a little fresh garlic. It's a great place to pull out a microplane, and I think a microplane is one of those incredible, versatile chef's tools. Hopefully you all have one at home. Great for Parmesan cheese, chocolate, grating nuts, but I love it for garlic. So I have a peeled clove of garlic here, and just run it along the microplane. And that way you get these nice flavor of garlic throughout the entire sauce, and you don't end up with a big chunk of raw garlic in your mouth. Just watch your fingers there, but then you can see how fine it is in the bowl. And then it's just as simple as stirring this sauce up. You could add a little more olive oil if you wanted saucier. But I'd let this sit for a little bit, let all those flavors melt together. And then, like I said, this is great on smoked short ribs, really fabulous on any grilled steak, delicious on chicken, also really, really nice on salmon. So, again, thank you so much for your support. Cheers.